All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Stump. We do it every single Wednesday at 3-ish. We're sitting on the squishy chairs in the green room at 98.1 The Max. And today, let me just say, next week we're going to have Daniel Dwight from God knows how many projects he's in. And after that, we have the Ellie Badge coming in. Jeremiah going to come in and talk about his new album that he's coming out. But today, a special day. I'm excited right now. We have the mighty, the multi-talented, the versatile. I'd say versatile.
Sure. I guess.
Alyssa Moore, ladies and gentlemen.
What's up? Hey.
What's going on with you today?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing. Lots of coffee. Just ate some food nervously. I used a little toothbrushy thing on the way over here.
Did you brush your teeth?
Yeah.
Are you talking about one of those little picks?
Yeah, that you buy like at Kroger, and they come in a little pack, and it's like, brush your teeth on the go. Those are now my like anxiety-reducing things.
Oh, no, it's a perfect way to just pass the time.
Yeah.
That
yeah.
podcast. That and they say you should only floss the teeth that you want to keep.
Huh.
And I kind of want to keep a couple of them.
yeah.
So.
Oh, that's interesting advice.
And that's the only way you're going to get me to floss, because I'm not flossing in the morning. Who's got time for flossing in the morning?
I've got this nice little water thing that like shoots water, makes everything just bleed constantly. I love it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess if they're bleeding, you're doing your job.
I think it's working. yeah. I guess.
Well, what's interesting is very few people that I've met in this town in the music world do all the above. And one incredible thing about you is not only are you a talented musician and you play in God knows how many bands, and we could talk about all the bands that you're in and have been in, but you also run a recording studio and produce music for bands, Move the Air Audio.
Yeah.
And you also run sound at the High Tone.
I do.
So it's and if I'm leaving something off, but like it seems like you have every corner, nook and cranny of the music community or any like accessible position there can be in this town. You kind of have it.
I won't argue with you, but okay, yeah. I mean, to some degree.
To some degree?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just like music a lot.
Yeah.
So any way that I can buy food and make my rent happen with music, that's like A+ in my book.
That's a tall order.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it super is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't buy many groceries, but just enough to get by.
Rice and beans?
Rice and beans, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Crock pot living?
Yeah.
Or you just microwave, you just throw water and rice and beans in like an old cup of soup and throw it in the microwave and like, oh, here we go.
I mean, that's what I do, and I call it healthy. Just pretend.
Well, as long as stuff's coming out when you're putting it in, you're good to go. That's
yeah.
The older I get, forgive me, but a healthy poop is just like the jam.
No, I could go on for a long time about this. I impress the crap out of myself sometimes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I hear you. Well, Move the Air Audio. You're located like right across the street on Cleveland Avenue.
Yeah.
Right
across the street from the High Tone.
From the High Tone.
Yeah.
And how long have you been running out of there?
I just moved into my location on Cleveland about a year ago. Like right around this time a year ago.
And how's that been for you?
It's been amazing because that whole strip of buildings right there used to be a recording studio, like in the 70s. So it was already kind of built out to be a studio. So I didn't really have to do much work to make it sound good. So it's wonderful. Like at my old location, it was all just one big room, and I really loved being like right there with the band as they were tracking.
Yeah.
But now I've got 2 separate rooms where I'm in my little control room, and the bands are in the tracking room, and there's a window that divides us.
Yeah.
It feels so professional.
Like that's like the Quincy Jones effect.
Yeah.
You just press the button, you're like, all right, do that again.
Do it again. I think he sped up during the bridge. Yeah.
Just keep constantly running through it. What was the name of the studio that was previous?
That was the Ohm Network.
The Ohm Network.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. They were in that building, from what I understand.
Ohm
yeah.
Podcast Network.
Yeah.
Gilworth, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, buddy.
My man.
I've got a message to respond to. He just texted me a minute ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good. You can only.
I'll respond to him later.
It'll be all right. Getting text. Half the joy of getting text from people is saying, "I'll get back to you in a minute."
Yeah.
And then like a week goes by, and then you kind of like you think I have to ask them a different question.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah.
Getting back to them.
There have been months that go by that I try and designate like maybe one day out of the week to just scroll through Messenger and see who I haven't responded to yet and respond to them.
It's like a dedicated day.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, are you like that? Do you get...
Oh, I don't. Yeah, but I don't even get a designated day. I just like it. All of a sudden, it'll come like a wave, like this white rush of fear that comes over my body. That I'm like, I'm being a terrible friend.
Yeah.
I'm being a terrible human being. Nothing. All these projects will fall apart.
Yeah.
So let me start responding now.
That's about what it is. I tried to avoid that by designating the day to do that. Yeah.
What
So
day,
maybe
what day is that fall on? Is it like a Sundays or Monday? Yeah.
Sundays. Yep. Yep.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So you got so one of the things, I mean, aside from, because I know you're in a band called Strengths.
Yeah.
And that's an incredible band. I feel like I should kind of map out what kind of sound that I hear when I listen to a lot of your music. It's very progressive.
Yeah.
It's very experimental.
Yeah.
And I would dare to say it's one of the pushing creative forces in this town too.
Would you dare say
I would
that?
dare say that.
Okay.
Because
All right.
only because like it's one thing about your music is it's not afraid to take chances. It's not afraid. It's afraid like the road less traveled. If you
Okay,
may.
I'll take that.
Yeah, almost like a progressive, like jazz isn't the right word.
Say something cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's
all right. Well, I mean, jazz is neat, but that
I don't know. I don't think that's the right word.
Well,
though.
I like to experiment with different time signatures and different like scales and modes that aren't very standard, and it might just be because I see so many bands, and everybody really pulls from like the same creative forces and the same influences, and so I don't know, like maybe it's not that I get. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Well, like where does your influence kind of reside from? Like is it like a Frank Zappa or is it?
Oddly enough, no, not really. Although I've been told many times that I should listen to him more than I do.
Gotcha.
He's great. I don't know. I mean, I grew up in the 90s, so I like grunge music a lot.
Yeah.
But grunge is not known for their weird time signatures or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like to push myself and do weird things that are hard for me to do. And so I guess I've been playing guitar for so long that, playing an E chord, I can do that in my sleep. I want to be able to do something that makes me think when I'm playing it. So I think that's where it comes from. It's not even like trying to write a good song, just trying to write a song that challenges me when I'm playing it.
Yeah, otherwise the boredom can set in.
Yeah.
And get kind of complacent.
That's kind of how it is, yeah.
Like
I get bored kind of easy.
Well, it's not a bad thing. It always pushes you, because if you do get bored easily, I mean, I don't know, like it's always moving on to the next thing for me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I can see that.
Kind of just not sitting in that pocket, because the comfortability, there's no growth in comfortability.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I feel like I've been my whole life. It's just if I'm comfortable and something's not right, I need to be doing something harder or more or better. I don't know. It's probably where all my anxiety comes from.
I was about to say, like, it's almost like describing a form of mania.
Crap.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, but that, if I didn't exercise, my anxiety level would be through the roof all the time. It's the only thing that kind of keeps me kind of center. That and music.
Yeah.
And those two things combined, it kind of helps me kind of level myself out so I can do all the other things, like talk to people.
Yeah.
Because it's incredibly hard socializing sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. I saw you at the gym.
You saw me in the...
we
did. Yeah. I saw 3 musicians at the gym last night. I saw Jason Pulley, I saw our drummer David, and I forgot the name of the third person I saw.
I've been waiting to see David up there. I know he goes.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't caught him yet.
I recommend all drummers hit the gym, man, because that's it's just a tough instrument, and he's singing at the same time, too.
Oh, I don't even want to talk about him because I just like him so much. God, he's so awesome. But, yeah, that's one thing that I noticed. I only recently started kind of working out just for mental health. It's so beneficial. But before I recorded this album that I'm about to release, I noticed that the more kind of upper body strength I got, the better I could drum.
Yeah.
I mean, it was insane how much faster and more endurance and like what I was able to do just from like kind of getting a little bit more physically fit. So yeah, drummers, hit the gym.
Hit the gym.
Hit the gym.
Yeah.
Everybody probably should. I mean, like, it's good for you. It's good for you.
Well, they say like exercise is the most underutilized antidepressant there is out there.
It is very helpful. Yeah.
Because a lot of musician friends usually suffer, or like just creatives in general.
Yeah.
I just always hear how they're always kind of struggling with something, form of mental illness. So, and I'm like, and I don't want, and I always look like I want to tell you about my favorite Joe Rogan podcast, but like, but I always want, but like that's one of the things, like, you know, get, like kind of release those endorphins, kind of get out, because it may prove to help out with any number of things outside of that.
Definitely. I mean, if you're able-bodied and you have the motivation to do it, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Eating healthy, it's wonderful. I'm super into it. There's one guy that I see up the gym, and he plays guitar around town, and he like, the first time he saw me, he's like, "It's not very rock and roll to work out, is it?" I was like, I don't guess I'm not rock and roll. I don't know.
Well, they say that, but I think Duff McKagan was talking about why Guns N' Roses would never do like an original lineup ever again. It's because some of the guys that used to be in the band can't hack the road for that long because they're just not in shape.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
And what's
Poor dudes.
Yeah. Well, it's a tough workout being on stage.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
And are you playing? No, I've played your 6-string bass that you've had. It looks like a guitar.
The bass 6.
The bass 6?
Yeah.
And so are you playing bass in strengths?
In strengths is kind of on a hiatus because Daniel, our drummer, just had a little baby in February, and she's amazing. I love her. I love them. Mm-hmm. And my guitarist, or the guitarist and drummer, are in the band Rosie, and they're doing a lot of stuff lately. And I think you're a fan.
Incredible local band, Rosie. God, I want to get them and talk to them just because they're just their songwriting is unbelievable.
They'll go. They'll come on on the show, y'all. I'm inviting
Will,
you.
I forgot the drum. I forgot
Daniel.
Daniel.
And then Will is the name of the bassist as well.
Oh, okay.
Double Wills in that band. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
It's a very unpopular name, Will.
But now you're about to release your solo album.
Yeah.
Alyssa Moore, Farmer's Revenge.
Yes.
And I got a chance to listen to it. Like I said, it's very
cool.
It's very experimental. You're playing around different time signatures. Yeah. Are you playing all the instruments on this?
Yeah.
All right, so you're playing everything.
Yeah. Is that?
No, no, you're not bragging by saying that. By saying yes, it's not what you're doing.
All right.
No, it's like you really. Is it one of those things that's just like, and I'm the only one who knows what I want to come out of this, so I'll do it myself?
You know, I'd convince myself that it's not a control thing, but realistically, it probably is some kind of weird mental control thing where I'm like, I'll just do all of it. But I think what it might really be is just, I love playing drums, I love playing bass, I love playing guitar, I like to sing, I know how to play keys, it's just quick. I wanted to get something kind of out. I had this sort of bubbling feeling like you gotta do something. It's been a minute since you put out an album. And so instead of trying to hustle in a bunch of people where it's like, all right, my schedule opens up at midnight tonight. Can you be there?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to get people to come in when my schedule is so strange with like the studio and with the high tone that I was just like, I've put out 2 other albums before this, and the same thing. Like I like doing it. I don't know.
No, absolutely. Well, I think that bar none. Cause what was it, like Dave Grohl behind us?
You know, I used the first Foo Fighters album as my like kind of reference for when I was mixing it. I would go back and forth between that one. I was like, oh. You did the same thing, didn't you?
He did do the same thing. He played all the instruments.
He played all the instruments, and it's their best album.
Yeah.
I'm
biased towards the self-titled too, but I don't know if that was because I was like 12 or 13 when it came
exactly.
out.
Yeah. I think I might be biased in that way too, but I think it's the best. And I've talked about this with a couple people. I think they agree it's kind of the best.
It's raw.
It's raw.
It's simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think or like 12. All right, so what hits you at 12, 13 is maybe one of the greatest influences right there when you come of age. What was the first time? You get goosebumps from music?
Constantly.
Can you remember the first time you got goosebumps from a song, or at least you were so moved by something that you're like, all right, this is it.
I remember on a road trip when I was young, I was listening to The Final Cut by Pink Floyd, which is like one of their very last albums. It's essentially like a Roger Waters solo album.
Yeah.
And I was just like we had a minivan, I was in the back where all the luggage was, just lying on top. And one of the songs on there made me cry. And that was like the first time I'd ever cried from a song.
Like a deep cut
yeah.
Pink Floyd song made you cry.
yeah. Yeah, I was like 10 or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was the first time I remember being that moved by music. It's just
wow.
Roger Waters crooning away.
It's amazing. That's pretty wild.
Strange one, yeah.
Yeah, but I like that because, I mean, I don't know why, but it kind of, listening to some of your music kind of, why wouldn't it be that, you know?
Yeah, I'm moody. It's crap. So, yeah, I think it makes sense.
Yeah. AC/DC, Whole Lotta Rosie, live album.
Oh,
on
really?
cassette.
Dang.
I used to listen to it going to sleep at night.
Oh.
And because I wasn't allowed to like have like a Walkman or anything like that or listen to anything when it was bedtime. It was bedtime.
Oh.
So I would sneak my Walkman into bed with me and keep it under my pillow, and I put the headphones and I just blast that out going to bed.
Would you pretend to like be a rock star and play along?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I did that every night before I went to bed growing up. And I got that album. My friend Dorothea Cragen from 5th grade, she was moving away, and as a moving away gift, she got me that album, that live AC/DC.
Really?
Album. Yeah.
We got Angus Young just like jumping
forward.
I
was like,
in like a fog. It was just like
Yeah.
kind of out of focus.
Oh yeah, I remember distinctly being like, I feel like I should have got you a present, but this is cool. I'm gonna listen to this all the time.
Oh, you pay it forward. Like no one. I always say if someone gives you a gift or does something nice for you, they're probably not gonna like reap the rewards of that. It'll be someone else down the line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because life is just not linear like that.
Sure.
At least that's how I forgive myself for not doing something like nice for the person that did something nice for me. So, like I'm gonna do something nice for somebody else.
Okay.
You just move on.
That's nice. I mean, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would assume that's just my truth, but like it's a very pay it forward kind of mentality.
I'm into it.
Again, that's probably me saying that to myself, so I don't.
So you don't feel bad.
Like I don't respond to a text message after a month. But I responded to so many other people's text messages.
Yeah.
I'll get to yours in a little
Something in the universe that just didn't let this happen, but this other stuff happened. Yeah, everything works out.
Yeah.
You're good.
Farmer's Revenge. When is that become accessible to the rest of the world?
I'm going to put it out on June 21st, which is a Friday. Not this Friday, next Friday.
God, it's moving fast.
I don't know what day it is right now. I think it's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday.
Wednesday's
in Stump.
Wednesday. Yeah, what he said. Yeah, sorry. I thought that was a cool day because it's the first day of summer. It's a Friday. That's all the reasons I got.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely.
So yeah, it'll be on Bandcamp. I'll eventually have some physical copies if anybody listens to CDs anymore.
I think there's a few out there.
There are a couple.
Yeah.
I got one in my car.
I still listen to CDs.
CD. Yeah.
Josh McClain from Heels gave me his new album, and I was listening to it in the car. I was like,
Aww.
It was so nice. Well, it's at the point now where the only CDs I listen to in my car are local artists because they're the only like. I'm ashamed to say I don't buy albums in the physical copy unless it's vinyl or it's a band that I see live that's traveling.
Yeah.
So it's always a local artist or something like that.
Yeah, I mean it's a nice way to show that you care about their music.
100%.
And then you got a little tangible collector's item for whatever.
Yeah, put it on the bookshelf.
Put it on the bookshelf. Yeah, it's art. Yeah.
So it's called Farmer's Revenge. Where did the name come from? Because I automatically thought of our friend Farmer.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Farmer. I've been wondering if he's been like, she named this after me.
Yeah. wafts
Wafts his beard.
Yeah, it's not. By the way, I didn't know dandruff could come from a beard. I've been
Yeah.
getting beard dandruff.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, that was random. Sorry, that's probably kind of
Do
disgusting.
you get you? I don't
Yeah.
know. I got some coconut
No, we're
oil
good.
in
We're
my
good.
purse. if you
Coconut
want.
oil?
Yeah. I don't know if it helps, but it might.
Is that like that? That's like the new hot sauce. You put coconut oil in there.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, all right. I don't know. You brought that up.
My bad. Farmer's Revenge.
Yeah.
Farmer's Revenge.
Yeah.
So where'd Farmer's Revenge come from?
So, last year, or maybe, I guess it was 2 years ago at this point, I put out an album, and it was a solo album called The Girl Became a Farmer. And I was talking to my friend Robert, and we were kind of joking about, like, what languages we took in high school, and I told him that I took Latin, and one of the only things that I could remember was how to say, the girl became a farmer in Latin.
Okay.
And I can't remember it now. I'm not going to pretend like I know how to say it, because somebody on the internet will get mad and tell me I'm wrong. So I'm not going to. It's like agriculum puella, something like that. Anyway, I thought it was.
Don't act like you know.
Don't act like you
You're gonna
know.
look it up on Google and be like, actually.
Actually, yeah, I know. He mentioned, like, oh, that sounds like a really cool album name. And so much that hit me with like a pound of bricks. That's a saying, right?
Ton of bricks.
That
A pound of bricks.
I'd
A
rather
pound
get
of
hit with
bricks
a
is just
pound
an
of bricks.
annoying rock.
I would much prefer a pound of bricks.
Yeah.
It hit me kind of hard, like a pound of bricks, that was a cool album title. And that album, I think a lot of people know my experiences with domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
And that album was a way for me to really emotionalize all of that, or that's probably not a word, to express how I was feeling at that time.
Okay.
Because with the publicity of what happened in that time, I was just so overwhelmed, and like the only refuge that I had was music. And this title, The Girl Became a Farmer, I don't know, something hit me, and I'm like, okay, I'm a girl, and now I've kind of got to grow up from all this.
Yeah.
Like a farmer grows things. I don't know. In my brain, it's so artistic sounding, but when I try and say it out loud, it just sounds stupid. But now, this next album that I'm putting out feels a lot more triumphant and a lot less, I don't want to say focusing on the negatives, but I feel like I've kind of become myself, and a lot of the lyrics and the songs are just kind of about how you can do whatever you want to do if you just put your mind toward it.
Yeah.
And so the Farmer's Revenge is kind of like, okay, dumb dude who used to beat me up and used to try and control me, like, I'm getting my revenge by being the best person that I can be and doing all these things, like recording bands that I love and writing music that I love to write.
Yeah.
And it feels goofy to call it revenge, but in a way that's kind of what it feels like.
Well, success is the best revenge.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that title came to me and I was like, all right, fair, stamp it, done, send it off.
That's awesome. So this was like kind of like the empowerment, the manifestation of empowerment.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. I like
Thanks.
that's a great theme.
Yeah.
It really is, because unfortunately, I don't think a lot of people in that position get an outlet for like that.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people don't, and I sometimes sit and wonder, like, how do people go on without having some sort of outlet like that? I'm so lucky to be able to just that I'm not hurt and that I can play drums, or that I've got enough support from my community to where my mental stability is good enough to where I can sit and write songs. And like anytime I share a song online, I have so much positive feedback, and it breaks my heart to think of other people who've been in situations like what I've been through who don't get that positive reinforcement or that outlet. It just blows my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate is like probably like the it definitely does not kind of incorporate what is really involved in that. I mean, it's sad. It's really sad because
Yeah.
you want to put your arms around someone going through a situation like that, help them in any way, shape, or form. And sometimes you can, and sometimes you can't, and sometimes it's just a battle within
Yeah.
to kind of overcome that. And
Oh, definitely.
and it does take a village, though. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, even the violent situation that I was in happened over 2 years ago, and I still, to this day, like, have a lot of trouble getting through a lot of what happened, and just having support is, like, the number one thing that keeps me going. For
Absolutely.
sure. And so I'm just super lucky to be able to have so many people that I can call friends, have a studio that I love, have a job that I love, and I could talk about this subject forever because I obviously have a lot of thoughts about what to do in this situation.
Yeah.
Or I guess domestic violence, but I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's something that I think a lot of us have watched you go through, and
Yeah, definitely.
But at the same time, I imagine there was a lull where you kind of just had to chill out for a minute before you came public again, or at least put yourself out there. But to watch you moving forward, and regardless of, because I don't, it's hard to judge what you see on social media or you read sometimes.
Of course, yeah.
And there's a lot of heartache and a lot of, character building and strength training that happens emotionally that you'll never see. Only your close ones will see. But to see you constantly moving forward and putting out new material, working with bands, becoming part of the scene, embracing the scene, and the scene embracing you, it's an amazing example of what can be done.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
It really is. It's inspiring as hell.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I try and for the last maybe like 3 or 4 months, I just haven't even been on social media just because I'll post something here or there, but as far as like scrolling around, I don't.
Never read the comments.
Yeah, exactly.
Never read the comments.
It took me a couple years to learn that, but I finally got to that point where I'm like, I don't benefit from this at all. But when I try and talk about, I guess, like domestic violence publicly, especially, I try and make it a point to be public about the bad stuff too, and be
Yes.
like, I'm sad today because of this thing that happened, because it is. I feel like a lot of people are very reluctant to share, especially publicly, like on Facebook, the bad aspects of life. And for me, that situation was like one of the worst things that had happened to me, and that still affects me. And if I can be honest about how I feel about it and how it's affected me, whether it's positive, like being influenced to write a new album, or negative, where it's, I had a really bad nightmare last night and now my day feels crappy. Like, I just hope that some person who's in an abusive relationship or something sees that and they're like, oh, okay, well, it makes sense that I feel sad today, instead of trying to tell themselves they should feel better, or, just being
or you're
honest.
crazy, or
Yeah.
it's not justified, or
Yeah.
any number of things. I have family members, and I don't want to say who it is because that's their decision if they want to reveal it, but they're not seeking therapy until their 60s. And it's just been one of those things that just kind of carried with them and manifested itself all through their life.
Yeah.
And now they're finally getting the help they need
Huh.
this later on. But at the same time, they're getting the help, and you could see the change that's happening to them. And you're like,
Yeah.
well, I wish I would have known.
Yeah.
I wish I would have been able to see this light earlier on
Yeah.
in them. And that's, unfortunately, sometimes it's the isolation.
Yeah.
And that's
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another reason why I feel so strongly to kind of talk about these things publicly, is because, somebody might have that opinion where, like, I don't need therapy, or therapy doesn't help, or something like that. And I go to therapy, and it's helped me a ton.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you said it was a family member.
It's a family member, yeah.
You are seeing changes in them.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, just kind of making it more normalized. Super important.
It is. And so, because I was in therapy for years, and sometimes you just can't tell people.
Yeah.
They're not, it's not, you can't tell people, they're just not equipped to hear sometimes what you're telling them because they haven't had the same experience.
Yeah.
Or they
yeah.
just don't know how to articulate the words. And so sometimes professional help helped me a ton.
Me too.
It helped me a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good.
I'm all for it.
Me too. Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. And I want to play a little word association with you. I
Oh,
want to try this because I haven't
crap.
done this before. So I'll just say a word
And I tell you the first thing that
and
comes
say the
to
first
mind.
thing that comes to mind.
Oh, this is not going to be good.
Tiny house.
Band. That's a band, right?
Is it a band?
Tiny house? I think
These
so.
are all gonna be
Tiny
bands.
towns? Are they all bands?
No,
Are you
I
serious?
All right.
Oh my god.
Nickelback.
The Creed. Yeah, I mean they're the same band.
Dinosaur.
Junior. I'm not. Yeah, this is
These
all
are
gonna
all
be.
going to be bands.
Damn, this is not exciting.
No, all right.
All right.
Scientology.
Tom Cruise. Just face. Just
Bronco.
Bronco. The horse. A horse. A red horse. I saw a red horse.
This may be the last time I play this band.
This
Actually, I'm just joking.
No, I mean I told you this is just anxiety prone.
Yeah.
Give me one more. Did you have one more?
Pillow.
Pillow talk.
Pillow talk.
Pillow talk. Yeah.
That's the other podcast we do on Thursdays.
Ooh.
I'm just playing.
You should.
And one thing I wanted to ask you about, I thought was pretty funny, is you also run sound at High Tone.
Yeah. Are you
And-
gonna ask me?
No. I wasn't gonna ask you like what's the worst band to do sound
I
for.
was gonna say.
No, I
Better
wouldn't do
not.
that. I wouldn't do that. If it would be a touring band because they're not here.
Yeah.
But-
yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, but it was more a move that I was always curious about,
Okay.
and it's the move when someone asks, "Can I get more sound here?" Because sometimes you'll see like, "Can I get more sound here in my monitors or more guitar?" Do you ever do the move, or you ever seen anybody do the move where they're like, they give the thumbs up and they
Pretend.
they don't do anything?
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's it. I mean, it's not even funny to me at this point. I've been doing it for years where people be like, and I'm just like, gotcha. And then they do the thing and I didn't touch anything.
It's like a really nice placebo.
Yeah. I mean, it's psychology. It's just, it's a brain thing. You feel like when you ask for something that you're going to get it. And that ain't the way the world works. I don't know. But I do. That reminded me, I don't know why I feel the need to say this, but one thing that bands do that it drives me crazy, but it's not your fault, it's my fault because I'm just crazy to begin with. You point to your monitor, and it looks like you're pointing down, and then you point up, and then you point down at your monitor again, like to say, like, turn the volume up in the monitor. I'm like, are you telling me I've turned it up too loud, and now you're pointing down to tell me to turn it down? Or are you telling me to point it... You know what I'm saying?
Is there an international sign language for communicating the sound engineers?
There's not.
What would your sound? All right, let's. Do you have? What would be the things that would work for you if you're in a band and you need more sound, or you need just different, like more guitars? Because I guess it's just easy, just to, like strum guitar and be like, can I get more of that? And then
I mean, is it really that? I mean, even that's confusing. Or I don't. It's just confusing. I don't think there's any way to rectify the situation.
Yeah.
I think
just get up there and rock out and do your job.
just be rock and roll and don't even need me.
Like, just
tell me I did a good job.
Because not only that, because you probably have overhead music playing.
Yeah.
And then you have a crowd in the middle.
Yeah.
And then you have all those obstacles of communication between the two.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times, a band will get up on the mic and be like, hey, can I have a more vocal on my monitor? And I'll just kind of be distracted by maybe the crowd noise or like something, and I won't hear what the person said. I'm like, if I did my job better, I would have heard what they just said. Like, I know they were just talking to me. I don't know.
Just give the thumbs up.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like,
they're like, thanks, I appreciate
and then
you.
they think that I did something. Yeah.
God, that is parenting in a nutshell.
I'm
I'm not a parent, I don't know, but I just imagine the Jedi mind tricks.
Yeah, it's a lot of just pretending that I'm doing my job right. I shouldn't be saying this.
Nah.
I do it great.
I better say you do a
Yeah,
great
great.
job. I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah, well, thanks.
So, Move the Air Audio.
Yeah.
You have bands coming in there constantly record from in town, out of town.
Yeah.
I know we had a band in town from Fayetteville, Muscle Goose, who just
Yes.
recorded with you.
Yes.
It's a punk band, and they recorded 15 songs in 4 hours.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Just mowing through them.
Yeah. I mean, each song is like 15 and a half seconds.
Yeah.
So it's not like it. But yeah, they just plowed through them.
Is it just easy?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're all insanely talented musicians anyway.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's punk.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I've listened to punk rock my whole life, so I know how to make it sound that way. Those dudes are super punk. They know how to make it sound that way. It's just match made in heaven.
That's awesome. What other bands have you been recording or working with that you're you're really excited about? Or
I mean, every band that comes through, I'm super excited about.
Yeah.
This weekend I did Muscle Goose, and then this new band called These Streets Are Rivers. They haven't played out yet. They're kind of doing this. I personally like this approach where it's like they get the merchandise, they get the album, get the EP, and then start booking the shows.
Okay.
So they'll be coming out in a minute. About to mix on some of their songs. I just did this band called Ray Tracer. They're kind of a folky, rocky band. They're super talented. They have a fiddle player in their
nice.
band. And it's just gorgeous. Dude should be like in Juilliard or something.
Really?
Yeah, super good.
That's one of the things, you always get excited for other bands and other artists, which I find is really, like when you see it, it kind of keeps you humble and kind of keeps the excitement going. So when you see a really and you're an incredible musician.
Thanks.
So when you see a lot of somebody really talented, like what's one of the first things that goes through your mind as a fellow artist or fellow musician?
Wow, man. I mean, usually it's just appreciation, especially if it's something like the violin player in that band. I can't play violin. I can barely play cello, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But I can't play violin, so I just sit in awe. Like, how is he intonated so well? He's playing everything perfectly. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Usually it's a lot of, I want to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Like, in this kind of positive encouragement. It's not really competitive, but I guess it's sort of like this, I don't know, just getting inspiration from everybody that I work with.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
It's like a form of sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like taking it and incorporating and putting it in yourself, and you're like, okay.
Totally.
Yeah, I can put some time towards that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, even like with this Ray Tracer, the folky rock band, as like their songwriting is so different than anything that I would do, and I want to write a folk song. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah. So imagine you get exposed to so many different types of music.
Yeah.
Recording.
Yeah.
To kind of like to throw into the pockets of your mind
Yeah.
when it comes out, when you start playing, when you start writing.
Yeah, for sure recording, but doing live sound, I'm exposed to even a greater variety of music. Just because we'll have touring bands, we'll have a rap show one night, and then the next night it'll be like reggae, and then the next night it's like an electro show or something. So by the end of the week, I've seen 5 concerts, and they were all totally different genres.
Yeah.
So I guess it kind of makes sense that like this album that I'm about to put out has just weird, different genre every song kind of thing. It's just I don't know, hear so much different stuff.
Yeah, I mean, music, if anything, it's not one thing.
Yeah.
It's
For sure.
Yeah. Are you an electronic fan?
Yeah.
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 Is there anything but, like, I love everything but? Is there a but?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I've got every genre has like one little thing within it that I don't like.
Gotcha.
Like,
Like, all right, let's go for an easy one. Country.
Yeah, country rolls.
What's the one little thing that you don't like about country?
Well, these days, it's more about actually like how the mix sounds. Like when everything is just hyper compressed and every instrument is just as loud as the other instrument. A lot of new country kind of has that quality where it's just very sterile sounding because it's just the way that it's mixed. Everything's got to be loud and there are no dynamics. So that's not really country specific, though.
I was about to say, because I remember reading, because it seems like the recording industry as a whole is doing that and filling all the gaps with the music doesn't breathe like it once did.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all just compressed and just kind of like thrown out there.
Yeah. And country is a huge, very popular genre, and so it's on the radio a lot. And if you're on the radio, you gotta be loud. So you kind of lose that. But I guess, like, I mean, I don't know. I guess country has a lot of songs about, like, women not being great or something. Like, I don't know. It can get a little sexist at times. But other than that, I'm Southern.
Yeah.
I like country.
Are you born and raised in Memphis?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're going to be a lifer.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine being anywhere else.
Yeah, this is your town.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. You're in your 20s still, and you run a recording studio. You're like, when you look back on people that you went to school with, or kind of like comparable, like in a comparable age range, would you every once in a while pat yourself on the back and be like, damn, I'm taking chances out here, and this is working out?
Admittedly, yeah, because I was not very popular in high school, and I was really weird, and I've managed to make that weirdness work out for me now. Like, it's great now, but I remember being like 15 and asking these dudes, like, hey, you want to start a band? And they would just laugh at me. I was like, now I run sound for your band. Yeah. And I think, like, a couple of the dudes that I'm talking about might be watching and thinking,
well, I think that's exactly what Bill Gates said at, like, a commencement speech. He's like, be nice to the nerds, because you'll end up working for them one day.
I mean, I feel a little cocky in talking about this, but I'd pat myself on the back sometimes for what I got going on.
As you should.
Yeah,
As you should. Everybody, if you're doing everybody's doing something, I would imagine. And if you're, and like, I think people are the last ones that give themselves credit on their own work, because they're the biggest critic. So if you ever have, like, it's like creating something you love. Like, the best moment I could ever have is if I wrote a joke I liked, or I had a break I liked, or a song. I'm like, and if I actually like it, I'm like, oh my God, it's the best feeling.
Yeah.
Because it can't, like, it's like being proud of your child.
Yeah. I guess. I mean,
I'm
not gonna have any of them, but I know what you mean. Yeah, any little proud thing that I've got in my life, I compare it to, like, a child, for sure.
It's just like the I guess the natural. That's got to be bred into us in like evolution or something like that.
Kids.
Yeah, this couch. It's like the greatest. I love this couch. It's like this perfect child. Drooling baby. It's got as much spit on it too. So I don't know. I don't know why I was thinking of a touring band sleeping on the couch at that moment. And I was like, ugh. You ever had a couch surf?
Yeah.
It can get interesting.
Yeah.
I always bring if we're ever out of town and we're crashing on someone's couch, I always bring, like, my own blanket, my own pillow, and all that.
That's
I don't
smart.
I don't want to be dependent on somebody else's blanket.
That's smart. I don't know. I'm very mama bear, though. I've got like 8,000 blankets and pillows at my house.
Yeah.
So you'd be all right if you're staying touring, sleeping on my couch.
All right.
Have it fresh washed and everything.
There you go. Yeah, I've definitely been given a dirty, used blanket, and I'm like, oh man, I'm not making this mistake ever again.
Fair.
I need a blanket when I go to bed. I have to have something, even if it's just to throw off.
Yeah, I always at least have my arm with the blanket.
I don't know what it is.
It's comfort. It's the evolution thing we were just talking about.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's baby in the womb.
Yeah, exactly.
Baby in the womb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, if you just joined Alyssa Moore, got a new album she's releasing June 21st called Farmer's Revenge.
Yes.
Are we doing a release thing, like a show or anything like that? When's the next time people could see you?
I'm not playing any kind of specific show for this release, because even just doing this, like being here, is kind of strange for me as far as putting something out and doing any kind of advertising for it. So I didn't plan any kind of release show, but June 27th at Midtown Crossing, I'll be playing an acoustic set for Queer Fest.
Nice.
Yeah, which Brando Little and I think Lisa Michaels might be the one who are putting that on.
Okay.
I'm not positive who is running.
Yeah,
I guess that
I know.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's Queer Fest. I'm not queer, unfortunately, but a lot of people that I love the most are, so I'm like super pumped to be playing that.
I'm not queer either, but that is one fun weekend.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's like now Crossing, High Tone, and I believe Drew's.
plays, yeah.
Yeah, they'll be doing like drag shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor Risky Whispers might be playing at Drew's, and I hope they are because they would slay that place.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't know if but I saw it. I think it might be at the High Tone. They might be playing at the High Tone. I'm not sure. The schedule might be what they posted might be different from that. So I don't want to give anybody false information.
I mean, I know both those boys would play Drew. They would play the parking lot of Drew's.
Yes.
I'm sure if they could, just to get close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would do well.
Yeah.
I know you're watching.
Yeah. I guess I always try to ask this. So what are you listening to these days? Like what's on the playlist? What's been sparking thought, getting you through?
I listen to so much music that I like do work for that usually by the time I get home and I'm just trying to listen to music for my own enjoyment.
Yeah.
It's really a lot of classical music.
Nice.
Like Franz Liszt is like my favorite composer ever. He's a piano player.
Friendsless?
Franz Liszt. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong.
Yeah.
I'm Southern. I don't know how to say them.
I'm
German
Franz
or
Liszt.
whatever. Franz Liszt. He's
Yeah.
a great piano player. He's great. And then I don't know, when I'm running, I like to listen to like Droid Bishop and like Laserhawk and these kind of like electro.
Laserhawk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that at Slider Inn one time. Someone was playing it on the overhead, and I was like, "What is this synth rock?
Yeah.
Like '80s? It's like 80s soundtrack action movie stuff."
Yeah, just imagine like police officer from the 80s who's half robot, half policeman or something.
Yeah.
That's like what that dude sounds like.
Kung Fury.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
That has got Kung Fury all of it. Laserhawk.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't. Yeah.
It's good.
I might have to throw that into the running list right there. That sounds awesome.
It's pretty good, yeah. I just pretend I got people chasing me,
Yeah.
and it makes me run faster.
I love the fantasy that comes with music. When you can actually just create your own little world.
Yeah.
And you kind of just get lost in it, and you're like, oh. I save a lot of schools. When I'm
Cool.
listening to
Aw.
metal, like if it's like, because I was in high school during Columbine.
Oh, wow.
So like I wasn't in Columbine, but like it was I think that was my sophomore year, and so after that happened, we would have a police officer that came on campus.
Yeah.
And then like just everything changed. So like the fantasy when I was like growing up and wanted to be like the hero was saving the school, and it
Dang.
still pops into my head every once in a while.
That's noble.
Sweet. Somehow I think it's just so I could be a hero. There's an ego
Everyone's
filled there
selfish.
somewhere. Yeah.
I mean, it's noble.
It's yeah.
Give yourself that proud moment we were talking about. You're
I
a good
pretended
guy.
to save a school today.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So Laser Wolf, say that one more time.
Franz Liszt.
Franz Liszt.
There's like Z's all over his name.
All littered around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a piano player from the 1800s.
Yeah.
Beautiful compositions. I'll like take a bath and put him
Light
on.
a candle, and then.
Drink a beer. Yeah. That's how I relax.
Nice. All right. Cool. Well, I've kept you here for a minute. I really appreciate you coming in and talking music with us.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely,
This is awesome.
absolutely. No, I love. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, what you're doing for music in Memphis and what you've done, and the role model that I don't know if reluctantly or kind of just been positioned to be in through circumstance. I think you've handled it amazingly and better than I think anybody could have hoped for. And we appreciate you that you keep moving forward and keep creating art.
I couldn't do any of this without people like you, or people who come record with me, or that go to shows, or just everybody. I love everybody. Thank you.
So Move the Air. How do they find you? Where should they contact you? Where should they find your music, all your previous stuff?
That's so many questions to ask me at one point.
Move the Air Audio.
All right, Move the Air Audio. I'm located at 437 North Cleveland, but ideally you'll go to www.movetheair.com if you want to come record with me. I got a little like question box. You can fill your name out and all that stuff. My phone number is on my website as well. Or you can just like look up Move the Air on Facebook and send me a message there. Or my name is Alyssa Moore. You can find me on Facebook there. Send me a message. I don't know. I'm not good at this.
No, that's
Those
cool.
were good answers, right?
No, they're great answers.
Those
You're
are-
killing it. You're killing it right now.
Killing it. The other, The Farmer's Revenge is coming out June 21st, and it'll be released on Bandcamp, Spotify, Apple Music, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I should have physical copies for sale at that show on June 27th at Midtown Crossing. So
Queer Fest.
Queer Fest, yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to be queer to go and enjoy it.
You really don't.
Just go have fun.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Go support queer artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fellas, if you get hit on, it's the nicest compliment, period, because we're hairy bastards.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm into it.
But thank you so much for coming in again.
Yeah.
Alyssa Moore, everyone. And this is The Stump. We do it every Wednesday, 3 o'clock-ish. Next week, we got Daniel Dwight coming in. That guy's played with, God, I don't even know where to start with how many different projects that he's been in.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Dude's
but
crazy.
incredibly talented dude. And I can't wait to talk about that Worst Musician show that we did about a year ago.
Oh.
And that whole thing we went down. But we're going to have fun with that. That was our first meet.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And the week after that, we have the Ellie Badge coming in. Jeremiah from Ellie Badge will come in and sit down with us, and hopefully he'll bring some of the other guys in from the band as well.
I have Jeremiah's guitar right now.
You do?
He brought it to me to look at it, to try to fix it, and I could not figure out what was wrong with it.
And you fixing?
I got your guitar, buddy.
Fixing instruments too?
Yeah.
Making us all look bad. Stop.